Hey YouTube, this is your Comic Center and I'm sitting on the floor, and that means that I'm gonna go through my books that I've been reading for the month of November. And actually you can see what books I'm currently reading as I'm filming this by the end of the month, but I don't think that I'm gonna be able to finish off those books. But what I have been finishing off is 15 other books this month, and that is my acceptable average for myself to get read each month, as I feel like with the size of my type of collection, at least, that you would be able to read such an amount just to get around the collection each and now every year. And there are some of the books still that I haven't reread even once within my collection, but I do want to get to. But in order to get to them and deploy my attention to each and every book, I have to have some kind of goal within each month to have some volumes read. And most of these volumes I reread for the first time now, actually, that I'm going to show you. And some of them I've reread I don't know how many times. But yeah, let's start this. The first volume that I read, last off, I have started a new to Justice League reading marathon, and this is a continuation of that. And what I've read since then is the Justice League New 52 Volume 6, The Injustice League, it's titled. Or was that upside down? No. And this collects some 12 issues almost. I believe this is one of the thickest volumes, at least for, okay, maybe 10 issues within this one, but still very thick. And it has the first appearance of Jessica Cruz, and it also features Lex Luthor, sister Lena, getting back into the continuation of DC. And we also have the Amazovirus being introduced within this one. And that is one of the greatest stories that I like, just because of artwork itself with Jason Fabok and everything. And what follows this is even more amazing when it comes to his artwork. But I really like the story arc, and it's just so pretty to look at. Now, with the recently announced New 52 Justice League Omnibus, thank you! I just reread all of those issues that was collected within that omnibus. So now, of course, I'm going to sell those volumes in participation to get that omnibus, because I don't think that they would cancel such an omnibus. Not with all of the other New 52 content that they have put out. I do not think that they would ever cancel the Justice League. And with one more volume, this would probably end up being collected within that one. So I'll probably sell this off in a while too. But let's go on. After volume 6, I also I read the Justice League Darkseid War Saga omnibus. And this collects the very last issues written by Jeff Johns for New 52. The last 2 issues of that run wasn't written by Johns, but then again, they weren't really important for his story arc. So this is probably the best event that I've read in a while, if I don't count Forever Evil, because this is just one great big epic tale. I mean, make this live action. We have the characters to do it. And yeah, I'm not gonna go into that, but Darkseid War Saga, it is basically a Wonder Woman tale, because I don't want to spoil this. Should I spoil this, or should I just say what I've read? It's a sort of Wonder Woman tale, and then again it involves all of the Justice League members, as well as it introduces the Mr. Miracle from the New 52 run on this Earth, because we also have the Earth 2 characters, which actually doubles up on those characters. Here we get I believe it is a new sort of view on the origin of Scott-Free, and as well as Barda on their origins on Apocalypse, mostly Scott-Free. But I digress. If I've never read anything with the Forever People or Fourth World or anything that actually takes on the new gods, this kind of mixes that concept with the new gods with Justice League, and it ends up making pretty much what we always have thought, that each member of Justice League basically has the power of a god, and this event takes that to the next level. Also, this includes the members of the crime syndicate that was invading within the Forever Evil story arc, and it really goes full circle with what Jeff Johns has worked with during this whole Justice League run. It is really very few issues that actually don't matter when it comes to his run. I believe maybe the Sheeta issues within volumes 3, The Throne of Atlantis, I think you can skip those, but otherwise all of the issues are immensely important for his run. Or I think you can skip the villain's journey actually, but what we have here is some of John's best work when it comes to action drama and everything with Justice League. And I think that's enough of that. So after having finished up the Justice League run marathon, for now I started on reading the Earth 2 series, and this is the first time actually rereading it. And reading that directly after Jeff Johns' Justice League kind of it put the bar pretty high when it comes to the content that I want to have. And it kind of didn't make it, but I still read it. I went through volumes 1, the Gathering, and the volume 2, Tower of Fate, within just a day. But the artwork is great, and volume 1 story is pretty solid. It still leaves much to desire once you've finished all of these, because just because it's Earth 2, I don't know, but the characters kind of feel expendable in some way or form. So with volume 3 being the last volume of James Robinson, he kind of leaves some clues or some question marks actually to who this Earth 2 Batman should be, which then Tom Taylor in volume 4 gets to answer. And also some other cliffhangers that James Robinson left Tom Taylor with. And Tom Taylor is a great writer. There are solid issues within these last 3 volumes of Earth 2. We have volume 5 here with the Kryptonian. So we get introduced to another Superman for Earth 2. And then the very last volume of the series, which is Collision within volume 6. And as I said, the characters kind of feel expendable in some way or form, and that really takes away all the risk within it, just because it's a separate universe. And if you don't believe me, what followed this series is the weekly run series Earth 2 World's End. And it is a 28 issue miniseries, weekly series, that was published within 2 volumes. And having finished those volumes, they then ran into the New 52 Future's End series, if you read it chronological. And Future's End, actually, I'm really much looking forward to finishing reading. This is the third time now I'm reading this series. First it was in single issue format, then the first time that I actually picked up these volumes, and now rereading this again within a long stretched out marathon. And this is eventually gonna lead up into Convergence. And if I say so already now, I think I'm just gonna keep the Future's End trade paperbacks, just because they don't live up to the hype that Justice League by Jeff Johns has for me. So instead of rereading something that I half enjoy, I would rather much reread something that I know I'll enjoy. That is logical enough, I hope. So yeah, now just stream through all of these books, but I actually have 2 more books to show you, and those are Marvel books that I actually have had the time to finish off. And this was in between the 2 months of October and November, I believe, but I finished off the SpiderMan Omnibus by David Michelinie and Eric Larson. This is very much keeping in touch with the Todd McFarlane previous omnibuy that I finished off reading, so they very well go hand in hand, reading next to each other, because I believe that Eric Larson collaborated with Todd McFarlane at some point when it comes to filling in some issues and whatnot. So yeah, it never felt like I could take a break between the Todd McFarlane omnibus and this one, so I just kept going. And the artwork is, yeah, it's not Todd McFarlane, but it's reminding of it. Of course, we have the new developed spider web in it and everything. And of course, I can't find a good panel for that, but we have some webbing here, such. But yeah, I don't remember all of these stories right now actually, but I'm in this huge reading marathon with The Amazing Spider-Man, and this is the 6th or 7th omnibuy that I read, and there are a few more to go. What you can see laying there is Future's End Volume 2 and Clone Saga Volume 1. That means that I actually read 1 more Spider-Man volume for this month, which is the Spider-Man vs. Venom omnibus. And the reason why I bought this is because it collects a huge chunk of Amazing Spider-Man issues. That is the Maximum Carnage event. And this one I really much enjoyed because I love Mark Bagley's artwork. Of course, his best artwork I think is featured within the Ultimate Spider-Man series, but here you get pre all the data, colors and everything, because that is really what makes his art style pop, is the computer coloring. I don't know how to say it, but you know what I mean. This is colorized within the more modern or old school way, which makes the colors kind of flat, and his artwork very much more shines within the Ultimate Spider-Man universe. But still, great content, very fluent reading, and you get not only all of the appearances of Venom, basically, since all the way from his first appearance to the time that Carnage arrives. You also get just 1 page or 2 page from some issues that his character Venom or Spider-Man was featured, just to stitch up all of the little storylines that went on, because some of these issues in here comes from, I think, Fantastic Four at some point, when the costume was held within the Baxter building. So instead of collecting the whole Fantastic Four issue that with a story that you maybe wouldn't be bothered reading because you want to read Spider-Man, they only kept the panels that was involving the Venom symbiote. So yeah, that's good and made for a real fluent reading. And yeah, I think this was one of the quickest read actually. And of course this reprints some of the issues that already has been collected within the Todd McFarlane and Eric Larson omnibus, but those issues I just kind of skipped while I read this. But still, got a nice chunk of reading done this month, and now with December on its way, or it's already here, depending on when I publish this, I don't think I will get as much reading done this month because there are much more school duties for me now and assignments to get in before the Christmas break and everything. And yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I'll probably try to finish off those books, but you can see there in the background at least. But yeah, that's what I read for the month of November. And thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye bye.